Hi, in science, fat is simply stored energy. The body takes extra energy from food and saves it for later, almost like charging a battery. Long ago, humans did not always have food available every day, so the body evolved to store extra energy in case of starvation. Your body still follows those ancient survival rules today. It does not care that stuff exists now. When you eat food, your digestive system breaks it down into smaller nutrients. Carbohydrates become glucose, proteins become amino acids, and fats become fatty acids and glycerol. The body first uses the energy it needs immediately. For example, your brain, muscles, heart, and organs are constantly using energy every second just to keep you alive. If there is extra energy left after the body finishes its immediate work, that extra energy gets stored. A large amount of it is stored as fat because fat is the most efficient form of long-term energy storage. Fat contains a huge amount of energy compared to other nutrients. 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories, while carbohydrates and protein only contain 4 calories per gram. This means fat can store more than double the energy in the same amount of space. From an evolutionary point of view, this was extremely useful for survival. A person with stored body fat could survive much longer without food than someone with none. The human body basically became a walking emergency food reserve. Nature is practical like that. The body stores fat inside special cells called fat cells, or adipocytes. These cells exist under the skin and around organs. When extra energy enters the body, fat cells absorb and store it. At first, the fat cells mostly grow larger. If a person gains a large amount of weight over a long period of time, the body can even create more fat cells. This is one reason long-term obesity can be difficult to reverse. During weight loss, the fat cells shrink, but most of them stay there waiting, almost like empty storage rooms, hoping someone refills them. The body can be strangely emotionally attached to its emergency supplies. Fat is not automatically bad for health. In fact, the body absolutely needs a certain amount of fat to survive. Fat helps protect important organs like the heart and kidneys by acting like cushioning. It also helps keep the body warm, because fat works as insulation under the skin. Without enough body fat, the body would struggle to maintain temperature, especially in cold environments. Fat is also very important for the brain and hormones. The brain itself contains a large amount of fat, and many hormones are made using cholesterol and fatty substances. Hormones control things like growth, mood, hunger, energy levels, reproduction, and sleep. Without healthy fat levels, hormone systems can become unbalanced. This is why extremely low-fat diets can sometimes cause serious health problems. Humans spent years blaming all fat for everything. Then scientists had to slowly explain that the body cannot run properly on sadness and celery alone. Some vitamins also depend on fat. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are called fat-soluble vitamins because the body needs fat in order to absorb them properly. Without enough dietary fat, the body may struggle to use these vitamins even if a person is eating healthy foods. There are different types of fat in food, and not all of them affect the body in the same way. Unsaturated fats are generally considered healthier fats. These are found in foods like fish, nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive oil. They help support heart health, brain function, and inflammation control. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish like salmon, are especially important because they support the brain and cardiovascular system. Saturated fats are another type of fat. They are commonly found in butter, cheese, milk, fatty meat, and some processed foods. Saturated fat is not completely harmful, but eating too much over long periods may increase health risks in some people. Scientists still debate exactly how harmful it is compared to other dietary problems. Nutrition science sometimes changes every decade. Trans fats are generally considered the worst type of fat. These are artificial fats created during food processing to make foods last longer on shelves. Trans fats can increase the risk of heart disease and other health problems. Many countries restricted or banned them after researchers discovered they were extremely unhealthy. The body stores fat in different places. Subcutaneous fat is the fat located under the skin. This is the type people can pinch with their fingers around the stomach, arms, or legs. Visceral fat is deeper inside the body, around organs like the liver and intestines. Too much visceral fat is more dangerous because it is strongly connected to diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. Two people can look similar on the outside, but have very different amounts of visceral fat internally. The process of gaining fat mostly depends on energy balance. If a person regularly eats more calories than the body uses, the extra energy gets stored as fat. If a person uses more energy than they eat, the body begins using stored fat for fuel. This is called a calorie deficit. Weight loss fundamentally happens because the body needs energy and starts taking it from its stored reserves. When the body burns fat, hormones send signals to fat cells telling them to release stored energy. The stored fat breaks apart into fatty acids, which travel through the bloodstream to cells that need energy. Those cells then use the fat to produce fuel. This process is called lipolysis. During exercise or fasting, the body increases this process because it needs more energy. Many people think fat somehow turns into sweat during exercise, but that is not true. Sweat mainly cools the body down. Most fat actually leaves the body through breathing. When fat is broken down for energy, it eventually becomes carbon dioxide and water. The carbon dioxide is breathed out through the lungs. This means people literally exhale part of their body fat into the air. The human body sounds less believable the more science explains it. Exercise helps fat loss because it increases energy use and can preserve or build muscle. Muscle tissue itself also uses energy, meaning people with more muscle often burn more calories even while resting. Strength training and walking are both very effective for long-term fat loss. Extreme crash diets usually fail because they are difficult to maintain and can damage muscle, energy, mood, and hormone balance. Sleep and stress also affect body fat. Poor sleep can increase hunger hormones and make people crave high-calorie foods. Stress increases hormones like cortisol, which may encourage fat storage, especially around the stomach. The body often reacts to stress by preparing for survival, even if the danger is just modern life forcing someone to answer emails while exhausted. Genetics also play a role in how fat is stored. Some people naturally store more fat in certain areas such as the stomach, legs, or hips. Others gain fat more easily overall. This does not make fat gain completely uncontrollable, but it does mean different people respond differently to food and exercise. Healthy fat loss usually happens slowly and consistently. Eating a balanced diet, exercising regularly, sleeping well, reducing stress, and maintaining a small calorie deficit are the most reliable methods. There is no magical fat-burning food, tea, pill, or ancient secret discovered by a shirtless influencer standing beside a rented sports car. The body follows biology, not marketing. So how to lose fat? Losing fat is not about starving yourself, skipping meals, or following extreme diets for a week. Real fat loss happens when your body consistently burns more energy than it receives from food over a long period of time. Creating a moderate calorie deficit is the foundation, but many other factors decide whether fat loss becomes easy or difficult. Eating enough protein is important because it helps preserve muscle while losing weight and keeps you full for longer. Foods high in protein usually reduce hunger better than highly processed foods. Strength training also matters because keeping muscle helps maintain how many calories your body burns. People who lose weight without preserving muscle often regain fat more easily. Daily movement plays a bigger role than many think. Walking more, standing more, and being active throughout the day can burn a large amount of energy over weeks and months. Cardio exercises can help increase calorie expenditure, but they work best when combined with sustainable eating habits. Sleep strongly affects fat loss. Poor sleep can increase hunger hormones, raise cravings for sugary foods, and reduce energy, making healthy choices harder. Stress may have similar effects by increasing appetite and making consistency difficult. One of the biggest mistakes is expecting fast results. Rapid weight loss methods often fail because they are hard to maintain. Sustainable fat loss usually comes from small habits repeated for months. Eating slightly fewer calories, consuming enough protein, moving regularly, sleeping well, and staying consistent. The people who lose fat successfully are often not those with perfect genetics or extreme discipline. They are usually the people who continue healthy habits long enough for results to appear.